My wife laughed and said, teaching is for the poor. I don't date poor. But I'd been dreaming of quitting my corporate job for years. I wanted to go back to school and become a teacher, the kind that makes kids care about learning instead of just memorizing dates for tests. But I couldn't quit, not without my wife Carrie threatening to leave me. The night I told her about my dream, she laughed in my face and reminded me just how much me and her family need me. You need a stable income, she reminded me. And by stable, she meant that I needed to continue paying off her parents' mortgage, pay for her brother's new car, pay for her sister's wedding, and fund her expensive luxury wardrobe and trips. But the job was exhausting. I worked 65 hours a week with a boss that liked to throw ceramic mugs at us whenever we made a mistake. I only stayed to keep my wife happy. I came home early from a work conference one day and bought flowers to surprise my wife. But when I got home, I heard her voice coming from our room. He wanted to quit and become a teacher. Can you imagine? He's not attractive, he's boring and awful in bed, and now he wants to lose his high-paying salary over a teaching job? It's literally the only thing I like about him, she mocked, laughing loudly. Yup, just 2 more years and I can finally divorce him. My lawyer said 7 years is perfect for the payout. My family will be taken care of, I take half of everything, and then we can finally be together, she giggled. I froze at her words, trying to process everything, from mocking my dream to the planned marriage and divorce to her actually cheating on me. For 5 years, I was led to believe the beautiful woman I met at the cafe loved me the way I loved her, but I was wrong. I walked back outside before she could see me and sat in my car for 20 minutes staring at one of those teaching brochures. Then I made my decision. The next 3 weeks were the calmest I'd been in years because I finally had a plan. I met with a lawyer and we started documenting every single payment to her family for the past 5 years. Every bank transfer, every text message of her asking for money, every receipt. I started dumping money into my old premarital savings account she didn't know existed and redirected all my paychecks there. Then I collected evidence from her iPad, screenshots of her with her affair partner discussing the things they'd do after she left me, the things she'd do with her half of the money. Then I did something that felt absolutely insane. I applied to teaching credential programs. I figured if my wife wasn't going to be around to drain me of cash, I could finally go for my dream job as a teacher. When I got an offer to enroll in an accelerated teaching program across the country with a guaranteed job after, I accepted it immediately and started to hunt for an apartment. Meanwhile, my wife Carrie used the remaining money in the bank to fund her girls' weekend trip, which was obviously an excuse to see the other guy, while her family took out a huge loan for a luxury shopping spree, thinking I'd still be around to pay it back when time came. I just smiled, of course. Whatever they needed, Carrie always encouraged them to go for it, swipe away at their credit card and leave it to me. But that weekend she left for her trip. I left too, moving across the country to start the program. I instantly loved it. A portion of the program had hands-on experience with classrooms. The best part was meeting Anne, the school counselor. When I mentioned how I'd transitioned from corporate to teaching, instead of laughing at me like my wife, Anne's face lit up. That's amazing. I left corporate HR 2 years ago to do this work, took a $30,000 pay cut, moved into a tiny apartment, started eating pasta 4 nights a week. Best decision I ever made. We talked some more after classes, chatting about working with kids and finding actual purpose in work instead of just chasing salaries. I'm technically broke compared to before, but somehow I'm a lot happier, she grinned. That's when it clicked for me. This was what I wanted. So I made the final move. I had my lawyer serve Carrie the divorce papers the moment she arrived from her trip. She called me immediately, sounding furious. You're divorcing me? Where is this even coming from? Is this about the teaching thing? Okay, I know I went too far with the joke, but we can talk about it. I sighed and sent her screenshots of her conversation with her affair partner, how she mentioned the 7-year plan. She stammered, that was for something different. Baby, please, don't do this. We need you. I frowned. That's the problem. You need me, but you don't love me, I said, heartbroken that it took this long for me to realize. But that's when things started getting messy for her. All the loans and outstanding payments suddenly caught up to them. Her parents panicked about losing their house when the mortgage payment didn't show up. They called her crying and then angry. How could you be so stupid? He was helping us. Fix this. So she did, when she showed up to my classroom out of the blue, holding a receipt. Full story on channel linked below.